Hello and welcome to Cavs Daily, your one-stop shop for everything Cavs related. I'm your host, Paul Williams, here with another banger for you today as we pick up the pieces from what was a disappointing opening night in New York City last night. We're moving on from that. Those games are going to happen. We have bigger goals and bigger aspirations, so can't sweat one game. But we can analyze it, and we'll do a little more of that and just talk about where the Cavs are at right now and what we need to do to get to where we're looking to be, and that's hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June. If you could, before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. It helps so much, and it's so appreciated, but only if I earn it. I understand. If you guys aren't feeling the content, I wouldn't expect you to. Now, let's just get into the first topic of the day, which is, guys, we're going to have to just kind of come to terms with the fact this isn't last year's team. This isn't the 24-25 Cavaliers. We're clearly not going to win our first 15 or 16 games straight this season. And we're going to go through certain things that we just didn't have to really endure last season. I mean, we have 5 guys that weren't part of the rotation at all last year that are now going to be real pieces in our rotation. That alone is going to make things tough early on, especially when you add in injuries and guys being replaced because of that and people playing in lineups and in positions they usually wouldn't be in. And it's a recipe for growing pains. It's just, it's inevitable. And the Cavs also have some guys that are really evolving and doing some things that, even if they've been here for a while, they're assuming new roles, which also takes time to kind of really grow into and get comfortable with. I think the most obvious case of that is Evan Mobley. Coach Kenny Atkinson talked about it after the game. He had no problem with Mobley's aggressiveness. There were some spots where Mobley might not have made the best decision in the moment, but that's all part of this learning process. And Evan Mobley growing into who he can be and who the Cavs need him to be affects all the other guys, like Donovan Mitchell versus the Knicks last night. Didn't shoot his second shot of the game until the last shot of the first quarter, was very passive in the first half. And he spoke about that after the game. And part of that is trying to get the other guys involved, trying to let Evan Mobley kind of take the reins right away, which he did, coming out and attempting 13 shots in the first half. He had 16 points on those 13 shots. And was a big reason why we got within one a couple times in the second quarter. So it wasn't a bad thing at all seeing Mobley being uber aggressive like that, but it is another cause that's going to have an effect on the entire team, and just take some time for everyone to really get used to that and get comfortable with that. And then you throw in veterans playing together for the first time, like Larry Nance and Lonzo Ball, with all of our core guys. And you throw in a Tyrese Proctor, a rookie who's obviously never played NBA minutes. And you throw in Jalen Tyson, who was around the team last year, but this is his first year really being counted on. And he comes out and starts the game, his first game ever really being part of a rotation. He's in the starting 5 on opening night in Madison Square Garden. So tough spot for him, and it showed as he came out a little too aggressive and got into early foul trouble, which really affected the rest of his game. So, guys, if you listen to the post-game interviews last night, this was echoed time and time again. It's a growing process. There's going to be growing pains, and it's not always going to be pretty, and it's not always going to be easy or fun, but I promise what they're building towards will be worth it when we all get on the same page and can start clicking the way last year's team seemed to click out of the gate. It's a different team, and we're just going to have to accept that and get behind it I don't think in the long run it'll be a bad thing. So we're okay, guys. I promise. We're okay. Now, would it be crazy for me to say I'm even more confident in this Cavs team after them losing their opener than I was before the opener even took place? I mean, maybe that is on the surface a silly statement, but I mean, it's true. I really feel that way, and there are valid reasons for that. Wins and losses aren't the end all be all in the NBA regular season, especially when you're talking about October, November, even December and January, honestly. But it's more about figuring out who you are as a team, figuring out which guys play which roles, and those guys becoming superstars within their roles, and that all hopefully gelling together in the shortest amount of time possible. And while the Cavs clearly showed they have some work to do to get to where they want to be, I mean, we, in my eyes, played a very bad game overall. I wasn't happy with much from the Cavs in that game. We weren't getting any second chance points or any second chance opportunities, really. No loose balls, like all those little things that we would come up with last year wasn't bouncing our way last night. We got absolutely dominated on the boards in a way that should never happen when you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley on your team. The free throw disparity was comical, honestly. At one point, it was 19 free throws attempted by the Knicks to 1 free throw attempted for the Cavs. Ended up 36 attempts for the Knicks, 18 attempts for the Cavs. The Knicks had some role players really play out of their mind, like OG Anunoby. And despite all that, we still had numerous chances to win the game. We fell behind at least 3 times, I think 4 times, by 12 or more points on separate occasions, and cut those deficits to a single possession game each time. We did that with, I don't think anyone playing great. Donovan had a great third quarter, showed what he could do, which we already knew. But outside of that, I don't think anyone played great. I think Lonzo played very well, but he shot, 1 for 7 from 3 and didn't make his first points until late in the third quarter. Larry Nance did play well, but he only played in short spurts, so that it wasn't that impactful. Tyson was clearly nervous out there and just didn't play his game at all. I don't know, we didn't execute. Our offense was very clunky and kind of out of sorts. It turned into iso ball for Donovan in the third quarter, which we can go to, but we would hope not to, especially this early in the season. And despite all those things, on top of also missing DeAndre Hunter, who we did not expect to be missing for this game up until hours before the game, Darius Garland and Max Strus. I mean, those are 3 of your biggest weapons on both sides of the ball, but especially offensively. 3 of your top 6 guys, and yet we still had our chances to win that game. All that tells me that we can really only go up from here, and that despite the loss, if we clean up a few of those things, rebound better, which we have the personnel to do, be more aggressive offensively to draw more fouls and get to the line more, and also play better defense without fouling or being so aggressive, or just don't be in a situation where the refs want the other team to win, I guess. But we can't use that as an excuse, so we just have to clean up our parts of the free throw disparity, because there were times defensively we weren't moving our feet the way we should and letting guys blow by us, which turned into a weak wraparound foul or a foul to stop an easy layup. So those are all things that can easily be cleaned up. I feel like our conditioning wasn't all the way there last night either, which is another thing that can be cleaned up. So all in all, I feel pretty good coming out of that game. And I think seeing how we meshed so many different lineups and had so many groups of five playing together that you never saw last year and would never expect to see. I mean, it's going to take time, but a lot of those glimpses looked like there was something there. I mean, there's even a time in the second quarter when it was like Lonzo Ball, Tyrese Proctor, Dean Wade, Sam Merrill, and Larry Nance Jr. I'm sorry, Proctor was replaced by Wade or by Mobley in that lineup. So it was Nance, Mobley, Wade, Merrill, and Lonzo Ball. And they were looking great. They were playing like beautiful basketball for like a 3 or 4 minute span. And that was without a Donovan, a Darius, a DeAndre Hunter, any of our top like perimeter scorers out there. We were still managing, and not just managing, we erased a 12-point deficit during that time. And I think little glimpses like that really have me feeling good about the future of this team when we get more cohesion and we have more time to play together and gel. So I feel good about the Cavs, and I honestly think yesterday was a positive overall. Now, one thing that was not a positive overall was Cavs center Jared Allen. Jared Allen has already been hanging on by a thread in a lot of Cavs fans' eyes ever since he made some inopportune comments after the Cavs' first postseason together with this core when they lost in the first round to the Knicks. Feels like ever since then, the fan base has been really split on Jared Allen, and I've been a Jared Allen believer for the most part. There's times he's really disappointed, like in the playoffs last year. Well, really the final 3 games versus Indiana. It was just unacceptable. But then there's times like the playoffs before that, he got hurt in the first round, but before then, in the first 2.5, 3 games of the Orlando Magic series, he was probably our best player, or 1A to, or 1B to Donovan's 1A. And I mean, Jared Allen is a useful player. When he's hitting on all the cylinders he needs to hit on, he's the most efficient scorer in the NBA. He has led the league in field goal percentage numerous times. He can get you 17, 10, 2 blocks and 2 steals, night in and night out, it seems, for the most part. But there's just these games and these stretches where he looks, I mean, horrendous. It looks like he has no business being on the court, and a lot of those times he ends up not on the court, and he doesn't finish a lot of games for the Cavs, and at big moments in the game, he's not in there a lot of time. And while I still do think Jared Allen is a top 10 center in the NBA, last night was just unacceptable. 4 points and 4 rebounds in just over 27 minutes. You could see Atkinson already losing faith in him, taking him out at numerous big points in the game when the Cavs were trying to make a run. And he just didn't look like his head was in the game. He was getting the ball knocked away, bringing it down way too low and way too softly, and being fragile when he was in the paint. And it just wasn't a good look for Jared Allen, and he got a lot of heat in the comment section of our previous video, which he deserved. But I don't know. It's still, I think the jury's out a bit on if he is just a guy we can't win with, a center that can't be on a championship team, or at least starting on a championship team. I still do think he's earned enough goodwill to get a little more time to prove it. But yeah, last night was not a good look for him. And he's definitely on the clock. At the very least, even if he's not scoring for us, there's no games he shouldn't get at least 7 or 8 rebounds, have a block or 2, a steal or 2, and just be making his presence felt as a lob threat and as a real defensive stopper for the Cavaliers. Those are things he should be able to do night in and night out. And we need to start seeing that soon consistently, or we might have to ask some tough questions like, what do we do with Jared Allen? I think most of Cavs' problems that showed last night in the game versus the Knicks, I mean, just time and working together and court time together is going to solve a lot of that on its own. Of course, practice, watching film, things of that nature will help take care of the problems. But Jared Allen, that's a little different. His situation, I don't know if there's a solution yet. I think, like I said, we still need to give it a little more time to see if it's a problem there's no coming back from. I don't know if we're there yet. I still do believe he's a better option than more than half of the starting centers in the league. There was a conversation about Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz in the comment section earlier. And while I do think he's a good player, he's a great rim protector and another efficient scorer down low. He's not a high volume scorer or anything like that, but he's just an old school center that can get you 10 points, 10 rebounds, and a couple blocks and play pretty solid defense in 25 to 30 minute nights. He's usually not going to play more than that. That conversation had me thinking about the comparison between those two, because I think it is a pretty good comparison. And if I had to choose, I'm still taking Jared Allen all day over a Walker Kessler or even a DeAndre Ayton, Vucevic from the Bulls. Those are all centers that have their own flaws as well, we have to remember. And I'd rather deal with the flaws and the bad we know we have rather than the unknown of guys coming in with problems that we haven't really experienced ourselves. So I think the Jared Allen solution for now is give it a little more time. I mean, if we have to talk about maybe moving him to the bench, I guess that's a conversation we could have, but I don't know, because I think Larry Nance is so perfect as like that jackknife big man, the Swift Army knife big man coming off the bench. I love him in that role, so I don't really want to mess with that too much. But yeah, we're going to have to figure things out if Jared Allen doesn't turn it around and show some consistency and show some grit and some real dog within the next month or two. Let's check back in when we're closing in on the Christmas game, going back to New York. If we're still having these conversations about Jared Allen, we're still questioning his role as a starting center on a championship caliber team, maybe we can talk about the bench route or maybe the trade route. I just don't want to trade him for pennies on the dollar while his stock is low. I mean, he is a former all-star still in his 20s, and he's still seen around the league as a high-caliber starting center. So I don't want to rush into anything, but Jared Allen is definitely on the watch list right now, and we're going to need to see something from him in these next few weeks and these next few months just to re-justify his place on this Cavalier team. With that, we're going to get out of here, guys. We got another game night tomorrow in Brooklyn against the Nets. We'll be talking all about it. As soon as that game wraps, I will shoot a video to have ready for the next morning. So stay tuned. Stop back every day as we'll be doing this until the Cavs win the championship, and then we'll keep doing it some more. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you all tomorrow.